Yeah, hello, namaste. Welcome to Politics and Nation on Telugu NRI radio. This is your host, Aravind from Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm here again with a very interesting topic today, something that can actually direct or dictate the direction that India takes. Yes, you're right. We are talking about the crucial state of Uttar Pradesh. They always say that the road to Delhi goes through Uttar Pradesh. Anybody who wins Uttar Pradesh will actually take the seat of Delhi, and that is quite true. Last time, Bharatiya Janata Party, led by Narendra Modi, actually won 73 out of the crucial 80 Lok Sabha seats in this battleground state of Uttar Pradesh. So today we are discussing the politics in and around, Uttar Pradesh, and then I welcome all the listeners who are listening to Telugu NRI Radio Politics and Nation program. If you are in US, please call us at 919-701-2005. And if you are in India, 970-522-2005. And if you are in UK, it's 115-888-2005. And you can always reach us on Telugu NRI Radio on Skype. So now I'm going to introduce an important person, who is from Uttar Pradesh and with whom we are going to discuss the politics of Uttar Pradesh. So I have with me Shri Gunjan Mishra ji, who is actually the Overseas Friends of BJP New Jersey coordinator. Gunjan ji hails from Kanpur in Uttar Pradesh, and he has graduated from IIT Roorkee. He works as an IT professional with a publishing company in New York. But again, very interesting, a person with IIT background, working in IT, but actively involved with Overseas Friends of BJP here in USA. So without any further delay, I would like to welcome Shri Gunjan Mishra ji. Welcome to Politics and Nation, Shri Gunjan ji.
Thank you, Aravind ji. Good afternoon to you and all our listeners. I'm very honored and happy to be here on the show. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Gunjan ji. It is actually nice to have you on our show to discuss this battleground state of Uttar Pradesh, which they say is actually very critical for any party to get power in Delhi. So let's discuss all the facts, all the politics around Uttar Pradesh. Okay, but before we go into the politics, I just want to ask a personal question. You are an IIT graduate, you work in IT, and how come you are involved with politics, and that too with a party, BJP? Any reason for that?
Aravind, I think it's a very good question. It basically boils down to the fact that people from UP are generally have been traditionally very aware of the politics around them, and so somebody is born there and raised there. It develops a very active interest in politics, and especially for us who also come from a background of Swatantrata Senani, as you can call it. My grandfather very active in the freedom struggle movement, and all my three grandfathers, they were three brothers, they were all very active. So from there, there was a lot of awareness towards the political process, and I think that's especially for me. But I think on a general note, people from UP are very politically aware, and so is from people from AP too. I have to give it to them.
Sure. Okay, yeah, okay. So now let's get into the details of Uttar Pradesh politics. Few years ago, Uttar Pradesh was in chaos. That's what we used to hear or read on newspapers. Right. There was so much of chaos that people used to say girls and women used to fear going out, and that was the reason BJP government had actually promised anti-Romeo squads. They used to say illegal slaughterhouses, chaos everywhere, no law and order. Is it all true? Okay, can you actually, this is before 2017, before BJP won the state in that Uttar Pradesh. Is that all true? Can you throw some light there?
Sure, Arvindji. I think a lot of this is very true, and I have personally seen it, the law and order situation, especially deteriorating from early 90s. I was a teenager, almost I think 13 or 14 years old when Kalyan Singh ji government came in first time. That was right after Andy Tiwari was, I think, chief minister up until 1989, and there was a brief time where Mulayam Singh came when the Ayodhya movement started. I think it was 1990 October, and after that, Kalyan Singh ji government came into power. And I can tell you that there used to be Kalyan Singh government was a really a very strict government in terms of law and order, and a lot of things Kalyan Singh ji tried to fix and try to put things in place. But the real deterioration started from 1993 onwards, when Kalyan Singh ji's government was dismissed, I think, after the Babri demolition. And there was a 6 months, I think, period of governor's rule, and then the elections were held. Mulayam Singh and Mayawati, they joined hands and came together. I think that was a turning point in the history of Uttar Pradesh, which used to be a state which was a lot of, there was a lot of educational emphasis was on that state. Good colleges, Allahabad universities, Banaras, and there are a lot of good universities and I would say hub of knowledge. But the caste vote bank politics, which was the open agenda, there was not even hidden agenda of these two parties, Samajwadi Party and Bahujan Samaj Party, and plus the corruption that it brought, because they were very sure of the votes of their caste. So that actually really changed the dynamics of the state. Law and order started deteriorating so much that it was almost impossible for any, especially in some of the areas, for any genuinely peace-loving person to live in that. And the people started moving out. I'm sure you know a lot of things also happened. Ramgarh Tiraha was one of the incident. I think 1994 happened where the administration actually went out and started shooting people who were peacefully protesting for in favor of a smaller state, Uttarakhand. So it's definitely true. It's definitely true that law and order situation deteriorated so much that Yogi ji had to do a lot of things, and I think things have changed a lot. Things have improved a lot. Law and order is back. Some of the places where it was not easy from some of the places where people were migrating out actually are coming back. Peace has been restored. Businesses are open. The women's and girls and ladies are once again feeling that freedom, that they can walk on the streets even late in the nights. So I think a lot has been done in 1.5 years or 2 years that Yogi ji has been in place.
Oh, okay. So which means that whatever the newspapers used to write about the law and order, in fact, is actually true. Okay. Now, actually, it's been like a little over 2 years since Yogi government, like BJP government under the leadership of Shri Yogi Adityanath took over.
Right.
I think the main emphasis was on these anti-Romeo squads and then the illegal slaughterhouses. So do you think those things have been curbed, those issues that you had mentioned? Are they under control now? I was hearing that, like, these illegal slaughterhouses used to actually be where, like, hand in glove with, like, the cattle lifters, which in turn, like, led to communal tension and all that. So is that all under control now? What has the government done in those areas?
Right. So I think definitely the policy of this administration is to basically curb those activities. On an official, there's no official help or any priorities of that kind, at least from the administration side. Yogi ji's government has been very, very strict on illegal slaughterhouses and on the law and order situation. But then again, we come with the reality. I mean, that's one aspect, is that the reality is, which is actually physically implementing all the policies. And once in a while, we hear that in those areas which are very densely populated, and especially minority dominated uh, areas, where these illegal slaughterhouse, because I think illegal slaughterhouse and legal, there was no distinction of legal and illegal before Yogi ji came in. Anybody could, it was such a bad example of vote bank politics that since minority used to vote for Samajwadi or Bahujan Samajwadi Party, they had open hands to do anything they wanted. The illegal slaughterhouses had actually become a backdoor or a back alley economy. Anybody could start, running a slaughterhouse even right from their houses. So that was kind of the you can imagine the situation where anybody can do, and so this whole logistics was developed that the cattle smugglers will smuggle the cattle out of the state or from the states, and then they will be slaughtered, and they would sell off the sell the meat or whatever. So that has been curbed. I can tell you that there has been a very and some of the mafias actually. So the illegal people had made a lot of money in this illegal business. Those have been brought to book. Most of them have been arrested. But then again, you know, uh, at a local level, we keep hearing these incidents, and people secretively are doing this and that, probably because that's the only thing they know. They don't have anything else to do it. Maybe out of desperation, they are still doing it. But the mafias have been apprehended. They have been brought to books. Most of them arrested, and legally there is the only slaughterhouse which have the correct paperwork can operate. So yes, that's been a very fresh and welcome change as far as Yogi Ji's administration is concerned. That I can definitely tell you.
Okay, so definitely Uttar Pradesh, you are saying, is seeing a big change. Okay. Now, my next question is to actually the Lok Sabha polls.
Right.
Now, in this battle crucial state of Uttar Pradesh, two
Right.
rivals, Samajwadi Party and Bahujan Samaj Party, they are actually together now. They have decided to fight the elections together along with Ajit Singh's party.
Right.
So, what do you think will be the overall impact? Because as you know, BJP has kind of swept this state, like 73 seats along with the ally Apna Dal. And the only seats uh, others have won is like, Congress won the Amethi, Raebareli, and then the 5 seats which are kind of the pocket boroughs of Samajwadi Party leaders. So now
Right.
what do you think will be the scenario this time? Will BJP be able to retain, or how will it be? Can you elaborate on this?
Sure. So, Arvindji, I think that's going to be very interesting. And I can tell you a few things right off the bat is the BJP obviously has, Modi ji with as the main mascot, I would say the prime ministerial candidate. But I think there would be some anti-incumbency that BJP would have to face. Obviously, there's been so much has been done, so many key policy implementation has been done, but still, I think there are people who would be a little dissatisfied. So there will be some anti-incumbency, plus the combination of votes. Now, on the paper, it looks very formidable. The Gathbandhan, it looks very formidable, and I tell you why. Because they have minority votes with them, and minority votes is almost 25 to 30% on average in each constituency. Maybe the 10-15 constituency where it is less, but on average it's about 25 to 30%. That's going to go against BJP. So that's a huge block that goes against the BJP. And if SP and BSP, their core traditional voters, can come out and vote in solidarity with their Gathbandhan contestant, then it might be then it could be a challenge. That could be a serious situation. But what we understand and what we analyze is that the Samajwadi Party and Bahujan Samajwadi Party, although they have come together for this election, they have been actually in a contrast opposite to each other. So they have been their main opposition parties. So 2000, if you can remember that 2003 and 2004, Samajwadi Party came in, and then 2007, Mayawati got in with the absolute majority. 2012, Samajwadi Party again got in with the absolute majority. So these are the principal opposition parties to each other. It will not be that easy for their core traditional vote banks, because the vote banks have developed a lot of enmities over the period of time. There were a lot of harassment of each other's cadre when the other party was in the power. So I think it will not be that easy that for them to transfer their votes. It's one thing to say it that way. One thing is to be do on the paper, but another thing is for people to actually go out and just transfer their vote bank. So so 15% of Samajwadi Party and let's say 20% of Bahujan Samaj Party. It'll not be easy to just transfer it to one candidate, where let's say the seat is gone to SP. Now, what we also have to analyze into this mix is that it's not easy to transfer the votes, and plus the people also feel that neither Akhilesh Yadav nor Mayawati are going to be the prime minister. And I think across the spectrum, it is forward caste, backward caste, scheduled caste, tribes, Modiji's image is really clean and it's very good image. So I think that image helped. Plus another thing, I think a very interesting thing would be how Congress fields its candidates. If Congress doesn't get it right, in the sense that it doesn't, synchronize with the already declared candidate of Gathbandhan, that could also be a triangular contest. In that scenario, I think BJP could really do very well. I mean, I'm sure it's not going to do as well as last time it did, but I still think if we can get these things right, and all with these combinations, permutations, I think BJP could still do very well.
Okay, so you're saying that even though on paper it looks good, the vote transfer on the ground is a tough task, and everything depends on that. Yep. Well, that is true. But before I go into the next question, I just want to remind our listeners who joined late. Today on Politics and Nation, we are discussing the crucial state of Uttar Pradesh with Shri Gunjan Mishra ji, who is the coordinator for Overseas Friends of BJP for New Jersey. So if you are in US, please call us at 919-701-2005. If you're in UK, 115-888-2005, and if you're in India, 970-522-2005. You can ask a question, or you can give a comment, or you can find us anytime on Telugu NRI Radio on Skype. So moving ahead, as you said, Congress has been kept out of this alliance.
Right.
Now, some people say that this could be a tacit understanding or strategy where Congress will stay out and try to divide or cut the votes of BJP. How true is that?
No, actually, yes. So it all, like I said, it all depends on the chemistry between this Gathbandhan and Congress. So, for example, traditionally, upper caste voters, and unfortunately, it's again the caste combinations that have to get right. So upper caste voters have been voting with Bharatiya Janata Party, but let's say there is a situation where they have a very clean image person from Congress Party, then obviously there would be some chipping away of the votes. So, but at the same time, let's say Congress brings in a minority person, then the traditional vote bank of Gathbandhan will go towards it. So I think it will lot depend on the if Congress is actually able to make it triangular or not. That would really be interesting to see. For example, I give you an example of Kanpur seat, right? The Congress has already declared a candidate from there. Dr. Joshi has been BJP's candidate last time. I don't think he's going to fight election this time. So there is a minister called Satish Mahanaji, whose name is doing the rounds as a candidate from BJP. Now, there is another Congress MLA who's been MLA for a long time, I think 20, 25 years. And he's a very strong local leader, very strong. And I've heard there are rumors that if Satish Mahanaji or doesn't get the ticket this time, he may contest on a Samajwadi Party symbol. In that case, BJP would be, it'll be a triangular fight, and it's very likely that he may emerge as a winner. So again, it depends what, the arithmetic of cost and the kind of candidates if they're very strong local leaders are pitched from either party, then obviously they're going to pull away some votes. So it's very, very interesting and very complex.
Okay, so it is, I think the caste combination and then how the polling happens on the day of polling is what is going to decide the winners.
Exactly.
Okay, now coming to again, the continuing with the same thing, we keep hearing that currently the Congress, which has 2 seats, Raebareli and Amethi,
right.
There is actually a talk that Rahul Gandhi may even lose Amethi this time, and he's actually looking for a safe seat in the south.
Karnataka. Yeah, Karnataka, I've heard.
Yeah, is that actually true? Is he on such a slippery slope on, in Amethi, or what exactly is it?
Yeah, I think so, because Amethi has been the traditional seats. Rajiv Gandhi ji used to contest from that seat. And Indira Gandhi ji was from Raebareli. So that has been a traditional seat. Now, over the years, I'm very surprised that that area has not been, so development hasn't reached Amethi and Raebareli in those areas. People are still forced to migrate out or to move out in the search of their livelihood. So now we have to understand that this is the electorate of 21st century. Gone are the people who never wanted to leave their villages and go out. The young generation really cannot wait anymore for the promises to be delivered. It is very likely that he may lose this seat. I mean, then again, last minute, it could go either way. He's going to do an emotional pitch that, he's held these seats for such a long time, and he has, such a very traditional relationship with that seat and all that. But I mean, in all its likelihood, he may lose that seat. He may lose that seat because people are not in a mood to give him another chance. But then again, it depends. Yeah.
True. Yeah, actually, the 21st century voter has more information in his hand. The cell phone revolution has put, the social media has put all that in, reach of everyone. And then gone are the days when media, radio and TV used to be controlled by the government, and people used to be only fed what the government wants them to hear or see. Correct. So you're saying that Amethi could go anyway, either BJP or... Okay. Well, that will be an interesting battle to see.
Right. I think even last time when Smriti ji was contesting, I think she fell short by very little margin, I would say. It wasn't like... She was almost there.
Okay. So, let's see. I think good luck to you guys on this seat. So continuing with the discussion, what would be the influence of Ajit Singh? And I'm pretty sure, if somebody actually follows Indian politics, probably they don't even know which party he belongs to, or maybe you just have to create another app or something to track which alliance or which party he jumps. So now I think he's with the Mahagathbandhan, and I think they have allocated him 2 or 3 seats. What will be his influence in that area? Will he actually improve the chances of the Mahagathbandhan, or he's just like a spent force this time?
See, Arvindji, he definitely has an advantage in the sense that his father was Prime Minister of India even for months, but still he was. So he has the good hold, I would say, over the traditional Jat voters. And they come from Jat family, and they have good good hold over Jat thing. And traditional older Jat people still think that you consider his and his father as, traditionally they used to consider him the leaders, their leaders. But he, like I said, he has been jumping, and you just mentioned that he's been jumping ships around. Sometimes he's with BJP, sometimes he's with not BJP, he's in the opposite camp. So he has developed his image of an opportunist, a political opportunist. And even last time he was against BJP, and he had contesting elections. But it just Modiji's fame and popularity was just like a tsunami last time. So everything was just washed. Everything just washed away. This time, they have a coalition with traditional minority voters, Jat voters, and caste voters. So yes, this will be a little bit of more challenge this time, especially because BJP has to get everything right. Have to fight a little bit of anti-incumbency also, dissatisfied candidates. Some of the people will not be denied the tickets, then they'll start a reward as independent and all that. So yes, so it'll be more challenging this time. Definitely, they're in better shape than they were last time, I would say.
Okay, so coming to small parties like Ajit Singh's, and then I heard there are few others definitely Apna Dal is considered like an ally to BJP, and then they say holds a very a crucial edge in on certain seats. And there is also a talk that Mulayam Singh's Akhilesh's uncle or Mulayam Singh's brother Shivpal Yadav also has formed a party, and then they say he actually has good hold on the grassroots level network of the Samajwadi, his ex-party Samajwadi Party's cadre. Right. So do you think he's going to make any difference or cut votes of the Mahagathbandhan, which in turn may help BJP?
I think he will be able to in the rural areas. And then in the urban areas, he's already declared all the candidates, and there will be, obviously, I think, the lot of old Samajwadi people or older people who were with Mulayam Singh throughout their, considered Mulayam Singh as their leader, they still somehow are undecided. They think that Mulayam Singh is still their leader, and the way Akhilesh treats Mulayam Singh is really deciding this thing. And Shivpal, on the other hand, has had, I think he says that he has the blessings of Mulayam Singh. So traditional voters, traditional supporters, I think it's still go with him. But how much dent they will be able to make in urban areas, that remains to be seen, because Akhilesh is young, and a lot of young Samajwadi Party voters, they tend to think him as their leaders, and obviously I think they have the majority of the Samajwadi parties are at this time with Akhilesh. So although the organizational structure old maybe with Shivpal Singh, but I guess people are going to gravitate towards more, traditional voters are going to gravitate towards more Akhilesh, and will not be much of an influence, I think, especially in urban areas.
Okay. Well, that will be very interesting to watch whether Shivpal will cut any Samajwadi votes, and that in turn may help BJP. Or that is time only can tell. But coming to these other parties, how much of a impact do they have overall? Before you answer that, I think let's. I just wanted to just remind the listeners one more time that today we are discussing Uttar Pradesh politics with Shri Gunjan Mishra ji, who is the Overseas Friends of BJP New Jersey coordinator. So please call us if you are in US, it is 919-701-2005, and if you're in UK, 115-888-2005, and if you're in India, 970-522-2005. Do call us, give your comment, or you can ask a question, and you can always find us on Telugu NRI Radio on Skype. Okay, so Gunjanji, so what is the impact of these smaller parties? I heard there is Apnadal, there is Ajit Singh, there is Peace Party, and I'm not sure whether OIC is contesting, and then there is a Rajbhar, his party. How much can they impact?
Right. So, like I said, in all these smaller parties, Arvindji, they have come into being following the same caste pattern. So these basically are the caste parties. For example, Apna Dal is predominantly considered to be one caste, one very dominant OBC caste, other than the Samajwadi parties. And similarly, we have few other smaller parties who are basically just on the caste. They think that their caste voters are the party cadres. So, and these parties obviously exist in areas where there is a significant, numbers of these same caste, cadres, and these try to extract, try to leverage that or try to extract their pound of flesh when they try to go on alliance with bigger parties. Now, yes, they have their own caste carriers, for example, Apna Dal or Rajbhar's party, and they would, in those specific areas, have the votes to, to basically swing the election this way or the other way. So I guess I'm sure that the central leadership of BJP has that thing figured out, and I think these combinations, Apna Dal and Rajbhar's party, are really going to work in our favor.
Okay. So
Yes.
Coming to the next question, there is actually a talk, the reservation that Modi ji, Modi government's recent bill giving upper castes, economically backward people in upper castes, reservation in jobs. This will be the game changer. But before you answer that, I think we have a caller. Let's take the caller. Hello, who's this? Can you please introduce?
Yes. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Bhargava Gorti. I'm calling from New Jersey.
Yeah, hello, Bhargava ji. You have a question? You have a comment?
I do have a comment. Actually, I just posted a video. I think it was in Telugu, though. I've been following lately many debates, especially happening in India. One common theme which is coming up is that Parivarvad. Now that started, it made me think, are we in real democracy? क्या हम सच में democracy में हैं? Because remember Babur ka beta Humayun, Humayun's son is Akbar, Akbar's son is Jahangir. So the throne went on. Even Manishankar Iyer said that, okay, Rahul Gandhi, Rajiv Gandhi ka beta hi hoga na throne pe. So that, if you see that, are we really voting for democracy or we're voting for modern kings? Except for two parties, and I give that. One is our Bharatiya Janata Party, and the other is Communist Party, which I have seen. I may not be knowing all, but what lately I've seen is that whosoever has started the party, their kids, their nephews, their daughters, they become immediate heirs to the parties. They run the party. They put all the direction. They are the owners, as if the whole entire money belonging to that party belongs to them. So I think what we need to do is that we need to go into the people and say, guys, are we in real democracy? The other thing which I noticed, which I want to share, is in United States, if you see...
Can I interrupt you for a second? I think we have another caller. Let me just get his introduction and then I'll come back to you. Oh, hello. Who joined? Welcome to Politics.
This
Yeah, Namaste, Dev Karlekar from Somerset, New Jersey. How are you?
Yeah, good. Thanks, Devji, for calling. Please hold on
Sure.
while, we'll let the other caller finish his comment.
Sure.
Yep. Yeah, please finish the
देवजी नमस्कार भार्गवा बोल रहा हूँ
Namaskar, Bhargava ji.
so
Yeah,
what I was saying that about this modern Maharaja Kashmir, you start from Kashmir, Sheikh Abdullah's son Farooq Abdullah, Omar Abdullah, again Mufti Muhammad Saeed, Rubaiya Saeed, blah blah blah. Come back from top down to Kanyakumari, there are these modern Maharajas ruling. From east to west, modern Maharajas and their parties are ruling. There is a fiduciary responsibility of all us NRIs as well as the educated youth in India. We need to come up and say, this is not democracy. The democracy is that let the right person get the job. Coming from the ground up like Modi ji, chai bechne se leke PM tak ka safar. TV Narasimha Rao ji, Amit Shah ji, Rajnath Singh ji, there are so many untold number of, but no nepotism. If you see Chandrababu Naidu, he snatched the party from his father-in-law, and now the reins are almost going to his son, and maybe to his grandson later. So is it not? I just want to throw a point out there. I just did a video in Telugu and shared with you guys. I like it forced me to think, are we in real democracy? And the second, and I'll finish with that. Second point I would like to make, in India, we need police, cops, paramilitary forces to conduct elections. Is that democracy? Or in United States, the way we go out to any school, vote, there are senior citizens sitting out there, check our IDs, we vote and we come back, even for presidential elections. Is that the democracy? I just want to throw out, just to spark a conversation with everybody, that is it not our fiduciary responsibility in basically educating our own about the true meaning of democracy, not these modern Maharajas who are ruling the country indirectly, ruling the people indirectly?
True, very true, Bhargavaji. Thanks for calling. You have made a very interesting point. I would let Gunjanji comment once. Thank you for joining this show. Devji, if you can also ask your question or comment, then maybe Gunjanji will reply or comment on both of them.
Yes. Now, so Gunjanji on the line, right?
Yes, Devji. Namaskar.
Okay. Namaste. And we are talking about Uttar Pradesh politics.
Yes.
Okay, good. So, anyone who wants to win India or Bharat's election must win Uttar Pradesh. That's that's the way it is. We have 80 seats for Uttar Pradesh, so it's an important state. My question, I have few sub-questions. I think in 2014 election, BJP in coalition with a smaller alliance called Apna Dal, they had a complete sweep. I think they won 73 out of 80 seats. BJP's vote swing was, I think, about 25% increased vote share. They had more than 40 to 43% of the total votes, which was increased from 2009 elections by 24-25%. One of the advantage they had was Modi ji, and then there was no Mahathakbandhan or Mahagathbandhan. Everyone fought on their own. So my questions or my sub questions were many. One is, what is the strategy that you could retain in light of the anti-incumbency, at least 73 seats out of 80? That's question number one. So what is at a holistic level game plan if you are privy to that information? BJP and NDA, also called as Apna Dal, is collaborating and thinking to retain the status quo, which is 73 seats. The second question I had was, what is the strategy they are having to tackle the negative vendetta which has been spread by Mahagathbandhan, primarily by the BSPSP, who are playing, basically the race card, Yadav and this and that, Jati card they are doing. And last but not the least, this happens a lot in a bigger state. I'm from Maharashtra. This happens to me too. Many people's names from the voter list are always missing, to the tune of about 8% of the women voters' names are missing. What proactively BJP or NDA is doing to ensure the grassroots level voter registration, especially for a woman, for females, what are they doing? And last but not the least, the first-time voters. What is the strategy going to the local universities, colleges, and ensure having a drive to get the first-time voters? So these are the 4 questions I had. Number 1, how to retain 73 seats. Number 2, how to tackle the Mahathagabandhan's Jati politics. Third thing is how to mobilize females and the missing their names in the voter registration. And number 4, the first-time voters. What is the special tactic strategies to have them included and to ensure that the first-time voters go and vote on the election day? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Devji and Bhargavaji, for calling on to, Politics and Nation and asking these questions. Please do keep joining us every week. So, Gunjanji, could you... Yeah, could you please actually, I think I heard that recently you guys had a call with Uttar Pradesh BJP leader Kalraj Mishra ji, and then probably you might be privy to some information. So please share your thoughts on all the questions and the comments that the callers had made.
Sure. So namaskar to both Devji and Bhargavji for joining in the call and asking these very pertinent questions. Now, just as you mentioned that we had a call with Kalraj Mishra ji, who is a very senior leader and has decades of experience going into politics, going into elections. And we also kind of asked the same questions. And, some of the things that come out with, so answer Devji's question, the first thing is how do we regain or maintain the confidence of the fact that we won 74 seats last time, and then obviously this is politics, and anti-incumbency is the reality. People get whatever you do, people will still be dissatisfied. So yes, there will be a little bit of anti-incumbency, but the fact that we have the X factor or whatever multiplied X factor we have is that we have Modi ji as a leader here. Any other Gathbandhan or Congress or other any conjured up coalitions last minute, they don't really have a leader. So there's a vacuum there, and people are not that, and people understand that these are not the local elections or the state elections. These are the elections which will determine the course of India for coming 5 years, which I think has been wonderful in the last 5 years. So the Modi ji's charisma is definitely there. And other thing is that people do realize that neither Akhilesh ji or Mayawati ji have any real chance. I mean, no matter what they say, they have a real chance, a real shot at being prime minister. So I think when the comparison is laid out, I think it's very clear that there's nothing that they can match Modi ji with. He has a very clean image. He is no corruption. Although they tend to bring in these fake propaganda with the help of Congress Party and the other instruments that they have. But I think in terms of the leadership, we are far ahead. We are miles ahead. That's one thing. I think the second question was how to tackle the propaganda. Now I think when we know that Modi ji, when he will start getting into this campaign mode, all these fake things, he's going to directly communicate with people, and he has this ability to communicate with lakhs of people through these rallies. We all remember last elections that he was doing 5 to 6 rallies, and there was so much of people participation in those rallies, directly hearing from their leaders. So I think all these the fake propaganda would be destroyed, would be shown its place by the time we get to the real election. And I think so. I think we will be in a position to actually do very well in Uttar Pradesh this time around. Also, despite the fact that we have anti-incumbency a little bit. I'm sure. Do we have time to answer for the election? I think we have another caller that with us. Do you want to quickly?
No, I don't think we have a caller.
I have something to say. If I agreed.
Who is that?
This is Bhargav. I have something to add to what Gunjan said.
Yes.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay. Can I speak?
Yeah.
Please go ahead.
Okay. So, Gunjan, I also come from basically born, raised Delhi, so I understand a little bit of that Western UP politics.
Right.
So, especially the Baghpat, Muzaffarnagar, Tartawa, Saharanpur, that belt is totally different. That's the Jat belt, what we call.
Yes.
And they are very emotional people.
Right.
But if somebody shows them that, hey guys, this is what we have done. Problem kya hai? I'll tell you. Is it okay for me to speak in Hindi or only English?
No, 1 second. I think we have another caller. Hello. Welcome to Politics and Nation. Who joined?
This is Rajalakshmi. Namaskar. Jai Shri Ram.
Yeah, namaste, Rajalakshmi ji. You have a question or a comment for Gunjan ji?
Yes, I do. My question is about Amethi, where Smriti Irani ji is fighting against Rahul Gandhi. So even though there is no development whatsoever, I am not from that area. My sister is from Rai Bareli and Tejgaon. She's from there, and what are the ground reality is that no work has been done. Smriti Irani ji has done quite a bit since she lost last time. So what can you shed light on that?
Yeah, sure. I think we'll get to that question. I think we have another caller. I'll let him finish his comment and before Gunjan ji answers it. Thank you so much for joining Politics and Nation.
Jai Shri Ram, Ram Ram.
Yeah, Bhargav ji, can you complete your...
I was talking about Western UP. So what we need to do, and if it is possible, and I think Vilas, I also shared in the past, like we need to go to the last man. And how do we go? Show and tell. Use human senses. Human senses is more than hearsay. When they visualize it, when they see it, when they feel it, that's how they get connected. I think we have the huge uphill task of fighting these two chores, Mahathugs. And for that, this belt is more on the caste base. Jat belt, Jat versus non-Jat. And at the same time, they are also like OBCs, BCs, SCs, STs. And the only way we do it is that we go with visuals, saying that आपके लिए ये हुआ है, हाँ या ना, आपके लिए ये किया है, हाँ या ना. हर गांव में जाना पड़ेगा.
Sure,
जब
okay.
तक हम हर गांव में हर जगह पे जब तक हम नहीं जाएंगे, तब तक हम सक्सेस नहीं होंगे. I gave a slogan type which I say is retain, regain, and reign in. So we need to retain what we have. We need to regain what we lost during by-elections, especially the Gorakhpur seat and Kirana seat. And then reign in. Reign in means get all the people in and then go in and fight the battle. Because these two chores, they will do heck of a lot, especially in the Jat belt and Bundelkhand area, where people are very emotional. They are nice people, but emotional. People will vote for small things. So that's my reading, because coming from that area.
Sure. Thank you, Bhargava ji. Thanks everyone, for joining the show and giving, your valuable comment and asking a question. I'll let Gunjan ji actually answer the question which Rajalakshmi ji has actually raised. Please go ahead.
Yes, Aravind ji. First of all, thanks Raj Lakshmi ji for taking out time to join the show and asking the question or your comments. See, that is very true that Amethi and Raebareli, I think we touched on this a little bit earlier in the show.
Sure, yeah.
It's also, I think, far away from any kind of real development, despite the fact that it's been a stronghold of the Gandhi Parivar for a long time. Now, Smriti Irani ji was contested from against Rahul ji, last elections, and I think she gave a very serious fight. Earlier, used to be just a walkover. Anybody going fighting against Congress, Gandhi Parivar from these areas was just a walkover. I mean, everybody knew that this is what's going to be happening. But this was a serious challenge, and I'm sure, and I hope and I pray that this time people do realize that we have on one hand somebody who has not only promised but has done some tangible delivery of the promises too, and on the other side we have a person who has been promising but has never delivered any of the promises. So I think we have a chance this time, but then again I said people of that area are very emotional. I think Bhargavaji is mentioning that too. People are in rural areas are a little bit emotional too. So let's say if the last moment Rahul Gandhi or somebody from the family and starts doing a very emotional pitch, that's a different scenario. Then that could go either way then. But if purely on the delivery of the promise and the purely on the performance of the candidate, I think Smriti Irani ji, when she wins, it hands down. And I think it'll be very interesting to see and what comes out after win the elections. But I'm sure if Modi ji's few rallies in around that area would definitely help and destroy this bastion of Gandhi family.
Okay, well, we'll keep watch on that. I think before the callers joined, I think Gunjan ji, we were discussing the reservation to economically backward. So I think we're almost coming to close. Could you just see how much of an impact that will have on consolidation of upper caste vote towards Bharatiya Janata Party?
Well, I think the upper caste voters have all traditionally, from I think last two and a half decades, have been a core supporter of BJP after the Ram Mandir movement. Yes, there was some dissatisfaction the way things were handled, I think, on a state level in MP and in some other areas where it led to some kind of maybe propaganda from the the opposition parties to some rumors or some understanding of the fact that upper caste people are getting disenchanted with the Bharatiya Janata Party, and they may go find some other shelter or go back to Congress Party and do whatever. So I don't see that's happening. People are smart, especially this reservation thing. I think the upper caste voters, obviously, if they had any dissatisfaction or any anger towards that will definitely be mitigated. That definitely help them. Take out the anger and then coming back to vote. But I think they are smart enough to realize what is at stake here, even without the fact, we realize that because of small, I would say, disagreement on certain things, we lost 3 states, crucial states. And so I think people at large now realize that, yes, in politics, leaders sometimes have to take their decisions, but viewing or taking the holistic approach or in for the future of the country, they have to come and vote for BJP. And I think that's the message they have it. So reservation has helped alleviate their pains, definitely a little bit, if whoever had it. But what they've realized more than that is that small dissatisfaction could lead to the fact that they lost 3 very crucial states. And I think they are better informed now. They understand their responsibility. They understand what could go wrong if they don't come up and stand in solidarity with Modi ji and BJP. So I think I don't see a loss from that perspective at all. Especially whoever I've talked to, whoever I've people are in solidarity and behind Modi ji, as far as the upper caste people are concerned.
Okay, so one more on the same lines. The classification of the OBC reservation into like anything different categories to actually negate. There was a talk that only Yadavs kind of benefited during Mulayam or the Samajwadis thing. So this classification of the OBC reservation also would help the BJP. How true is that statement?
I think that's very true, because I tell you this, when 27 it's just like that, so 27% OBC reservation is carved out, and it is really true that only dominant castes, which were traditionally rich and prosperous, have taken the most of the benefits of this. So there are a huge section of the people amongst the OBCs that still haven't seen any fruits of those reservations. They haven't actually realized. They haven't got to that. It hasn't reached them yet. So, and believe it or not, when Rajnath Singh ji was Chief Minister, I think in 2000, between 2001 and 3, I would say, then he did go out and did a classification. Somehow that did not get implemented because he lost. He lost the the BJP lost the elections. And I think there was talks of that happening, but considering the elections and nobody wanted to touch the status quo, that has not been decided. But that's going to really help, because if few dominant castes take all the advantage, then the real purpose of that would definitely be lost. And I think people have started realizing this. For example, one of the allies, Rajbar's party, Om Prakash Rajbar's party, they are of the opinion that there should be further classification amongst the OBCs, and according to their representation, they should get, the quota should be equally, or in that proportion should be divided. That's really required now, and if the BJP does it next time, I think that's going to be really a masterstroke.
Okay. So I think we are almost close to the end of our show, Gunjanji. I will ask you my last question. In your opinion, give me a number. How many seats would BJP win as per your calculation? Nothing I won't hold you against anything if that doesn't happen. And then what would be your 3 most interesting seats among the 80 for you?
I think realistically, I would love to see BJP repeat its performance, or even in fact go over their performance of last times. But realistically, I think since I think we have a very good shot at winning close to 55 seats to 45, in between 45 to 55 seats, and some smaller margin can go here and there, but I think between 45 seats to 55 seats, I think we are very we should be winning in that range. And 3 most interesting would definitely be, one of them would be Smriti Irani versus Rahul Gandhi. If we can turn this around, that would be like a seat of the century kind of thing. On the other side, I think there are going to be very interesting contest if that's Hema Malini seat is being given. I heard the rumors that the other contestant from Congress party is also a very I think a folk dancer or something, is very popular in that area. Haryana and that area, Western UP, is very popular. If she gets to contest from this, I think that could also be a very interesting seat to watch out. And I think third will be my own seat from Kanpur, where Joshi ji, I don't know if he's going to be representing again, but if Mahana ji comes, and Shri Jaiswal, who is a Congress candidate, who had actually been MP 2004 and 2002 times. I think he was MP 2 times, 2004 and 2009 from Kanpur. So that will also be a very interesting seat. So these 3 seats.
Okay. Thank you, Gunjanji. I think we are almost done. We are almost about to end our program. I would just give you another 30 seconds if you want to make any appeal or any message to the NRIs in general before we close the program.
Sure. I think, thanks, first of all, giving me opportunity to come here and discuss with you. And also thanks to our Rajalakshmi ji, Bhargav ji, and Dev ji for coming out and their comments. I think it's our responsibility this time, and this is a chance that we should not take lightly. And anybody who's listening to this or is interested in Indian politics has to know that this is once in a lifetime chance, which Modi ji has been a great prime minister for last 5 years. And at this time, any small mistake could be suicidal. And I don't want to scare anybody, but I think we all have to stand right behind him. He's a leader recognized in the whole world, and the stature of India has immensely increased ever since he has come to power. For NRIs also, we earlier, whenever somebody used to, prime minister or leaders used to come, there was not any interest in the population here. But I guess with the Modi ji, he's a well recognized, very powerful world leader, and we all have to come sure that make him elect again for 5 years, and in fact for another 15-20 years till he wants to retire, because we in generations in life we get a leader like him. We have to all stand behind, make sure that whoever is the candidate, if there is any dissatisfaction, just make sure that it's Modi ji's whose hand we have to make strong. So with this, I want to urge everybody to just vote for BJP. Talk to your family, talk to your friends, and see if you can increase the participation. Sometimes people just become a little bit non-calent to say, okay, Modi ji is going to win anyways. Let's not take that chance. Let's make sure that each and every vote gets to the booth, every vote gets cast and counted and results in a victory.
Okay, thank you so much. I wish you all the best, Gunjan ji. Thank you for taking time and joining our show, Politics and Nation. So, listeners, once again, we discussed a very interesting state, Uttar Pradesh, with Shri Gunjan Mishra ji. Thank you all for joining. Thank you for the callers. So, once again, every Saturday, 2 to 3 p.m., we'll come back again with another interesting state politics next week. So, keep listening. Telugu NRI Radio, the heartbeat of NRIs. This is your host, Aravind, signing off for now. Thank you so much. Namaste.